can't get any better. And coming into this next event, I'm not 100% sure how they're going to do it sprinting, but one thing I do know that they do down there in Cookville, they're a big fan, originally a big fan of playing sports, doing things outside of the gym. This is an event that's outside of the gym, so regardless of their God-given talent in an event like this, I feel like they're going to be prepared. They should scare the rest of the field.
AC3 Black has made a methodical plan what they do. They're steadily improving their placement with every event. I don't know if they have time to catch Man Freedom, but they certainly have time to work their way into the top three.
Like you said, Sean, they had a great day two of competition. They took a fourth on event 4. They took a third on strongman tier event 5 to move themselves into a fourth place position. So they did what they needed to do yesterday. Now, at the beginning of competition, I had said that this would be the team to beat CrossFit Mayhem. 147 points back. It's looking less and less likely that that's actually an option. So at this point, CrossFit, LC3 Black really just needs to concentrate on doing what they did yesterday, having really strong event finishes, and now getting themselves into a podium position. They're 21 points back from Invictus, so they can very easily make up those points in the next few events and get themselves at least back on the podium.
Yeah. They are up first. The teams are with their event number 6, and it's going to look a lot like the individuals event, except this one is going to be done in relay style. The same course, but they will go one at a time, and the fastest team will win the event. So now you have 4 athletes who are running this as opposed to just 1. What are the keys here for the teams?
Yeah, the keys are going to be very similar to the individuals. So everything that we kind of mentioned before, the start, the finish, the cutting, the turning, but now you added in a hand slap, right? So the only potential danger you could run into there is if your athlete leaves a little bit early. So if somebody takes a step out of the field before you've actually made that contact, I have to imagine that there's going to be some kind of penalty there. If you take a penalty in a sprint event like this, consider yourself at the bottom and go overboard.
Who do you like to do well this event for teams?
Okay. Thank you. I'm actually going to pick CrossFit Krypton. I think they have a lot of momentum moving into the weekend. When I just look at the names, a lot of them just say athlete to me. So that's something that stands out that you need to be good at for this event. With sprinting, all have some form of athletics background. Cody Mooney's been playing football before. Alex Smith family is very involved in sports. Same with Jessica Griffith. So I think they're going to do well in this event. They have a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence coming into day 3.
For me, I'm going to look at a team that I don't know that they're going to do well on this event. We shall see it, and that's Team Don't Stop. So they had a really good second day. They kept themselves in that 7th place position. But if I were Team Don't Stop, I want to be further from that cut line at this point. Now, they had a really good chance with Roy Gamboa, who won the Suicide Sprint in 2016 and was 7th in the Zigzag event in 2013. Jen Smith, she has a track background. That bodes well for them as well. What I don't know is how Travis Williams was able to baseball background and Alexis Johnson be able to do for their team. But again, looking at that team, you don't just want to be above the cut line. You want to have some distance above that cut line at this point. So I think they really need to have a good event.
Yeah, you're just the right side of this cut line. We're going to probably be on the wrong side of the next cut line. We have been asking you to submit your questions for Dan Bailey by social media. So let's do another segment of Ask Dan Bailey. This is more of a comment to Dan Bailey. This is from Katie Wonders, who says, love Haley.
Yes, Haley Adams.
Haley Adams has a huge future here. That seems to be, why would you agree?
She's just a stud. I mean, she made a cut line. She's one of the few to finish that first event. I think when you look at that list of the women, how they finish, you see a lot of caps. She was one of those ones who finished. An incredibly tough event. Super young. Doesn't have a whole lot of exposure to this side of the competition world. But she came in here and acted like she did. She came in and acted like a pro. She's treated like that. Super young. I think the future's super bright.
Right. That's what's been so impressive to me is her composure on the big floor with all of the ladies of 18 years old. Very impressive.
Next question is about Matt Fraser. The question is, should Jeffrey be anyone going to beat Fraser this year? That's the $1 million question.
This is the only time we've seen him look human, and it took a penalty to do that. My money is still on Matt Fraser right now. I've been fielding a handful of questions about where do you think Matt's head's at. I don't think he's got it. I think it's
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's day 3 of the CrossFit Games. We have team event number 6 coming up in just under 5 minutes, and we'll have that here for you.
Shows up and just hammers everybody.
By the way, guys, it's only Saturday.
Exactly.
Like, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We have a whole lot of events, and that leaderboard at the top could not be any closer.
Right. Okay, we have one more. One more question for Dan Bailey. I think this one is about Noah Olson. Not up on the screen yet. There we go. How is Noah at sprinting? That's from Pete Z.
I don't think traditionally he's done very well. I know that he's had a water polo background. He spent definitely more time in the pool, a little bit more of a water cheetah than a land cheetah. So he might have some work to do here, maybe a little bit of damage control. The good news for him, this event came up. He's nowhere near the cut line. There's not a huge threat there. He's kind of maintain that close position to Matt Frazier and the rest of the guys at the top of the leaderboard.
Keep those questions coming, guys. Use the hashtag AskDanBailey, and we will possibly answer them here on the show. If you are in Madison, Wisconsin, you know that we've got some great stuff going on the Alliant Energy Center campus, but they also have some cool stuff going on around town here, specifically at the Great Dane Pub and Brewing. They're teaming up with the Great Dane Pub here in Madison, Wisconsin, and you can follow them on social media. We put the graphic back up for you, and they are at Great Dane Pub. So now through Sunday, all 4 Great Dane Pub locations have daily drink specials, a custom road food menu, an exclusive road, and Great Dane t-shirts and pint cups. So check them out if you're in town or any one of their locations. It will certainly be worth your while. It will certainly be a lot of fun. We're going to step aside for the quick break. We'll be back though with Team Event 6 as we kick off day 3 here on the Road Iron Game at the 2019 Reebok CrossFit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's team event number 6. So here are the standings after 5 events. We have Mayhem Freedom in first with a commanding lead over CrossFit Krypton, as well as Invictus. OC3 Black is in number 4, and the Central Beasts make up our top 5. So if you didn't know, this is the sprint course relay. The teams will do this, and also later the individuals will take the sprint course. So, I guess the thing to note here is after this event, the team field will cut down to 9, and on the individual side, the individuals will cut from 20 to 10. So this is going to be a very harsh cut for the individuals, as 50% of the field is going to be cut. That did happen in event number 1, but a lot of the individuals that were cut weren't people that were really well known. But in this cut, a lot of people's favorite competitors will be eliminated. So we've got another minute till the heat. The teams are still allowed to warm up out there, and we'll get on it. There's Mayhem, your team leaders at the moment.
All athletes in the blue, 30 seconds. All athletes in the blue, 30 seconds.
So what's going to happen here is the team members will race down to the end of the field, come back, and these red pylons / cones that you see here, they'll have to work their way through them until they get to the front, and then off goes the next guy. Well, you can see they were kind of confused there about the start. I don't know if it was the third lane over there that kind of stopped and started going again. So you'll be able to pick out CrossFit Mayhem Freedom with the red. The females were wearing the red pants. That was Rich Froning, or Grace Strom that was going. So this looks like Teza Perez is going. She's flying down the field. You can really notice those red pants taking off. And around the pylon, she's slowing a little bit. But she's going to have a good lead here, so we'll see if Chana Cho. This is a harder. The pylons are definitely going to be where it's made. Oh, look at China go. China's taking off down the field. She's looking good. Oh, but right beside her, Fisher's catching up to her. See if China can keep it up here. Lauren's at the top of your screen there. Now it's all about these pylons that can make good, quick cuts. Oh, she make it through, yep. Come on. There she goes, and off she goes to her teammate. Oh, wow. That came out of nowhere. I didn't see what happened there. It didn't look like the female got that far ahead of China going through the pylons. We'll have to watch the replay of that. That was Anderson that took off. And that would have been Jessica Griffith that made it through the pylons a lot quicker than Chana Cho. This is a very important race, as you can see here, because CrossFit Krypton is right behind CrossFit Mayhem Freedom in the standings right now, so this will be big. So you can see the scores are being put right there. CrossFit Krypton with 143, CrossFit Mayhem Freedom 145, Invictus 146, and Black 146. So it was Jessica Griffith that made up a lot of the space, and then Rasmus Anderson, the one that kind of buried Rich Froning there. There's Alex Smith. Actually, sorry, I had that backwards. Alex Smith that finished the... just to clarify, CrossFit Krypton, who sits in second place right now, is Alex Smith, former individual athlete. We have Cody Mooney, we have Jessica Griffith, and we also have Camilla Bazinegger, former champ from 2014. She was brought in after CrossFit Krypton, who was named at that time CrossFit Ramwan. They qualified for the games, and she was subbed in. So she looks like she's enjoying the team here. It's definitely a different atmosphere from the individual. So Don't Stop, Central Beast, Invictus X, and Pro One, the Canadian team, will be going up in the next sprints here. So based on the leaderboard right now, the Central Beast is in 5th, Invictus X is in 6th, Don't Stop in 7th, and Pro 1 is 8th. So Pro 1 is the one that has the most to lose here, because remember, after this event, the teams are going to be cut down to 9. So out of this heat, Pro 1 is the closest, obviously, to that cut marker. Invictus X has some very powerful athletes. Heat 2's there's Sam Dancer, Margaret Alvarez behind. Looks like Pro 1 taking the early lead. That looks like it's Joe Scally going down there. And Joe Scally is a former hockey player. Sam Dancer's actually dragging a little behind. See if he can make it up to the cones here.
Chasing down Travis Williams. Travis Williams looking strong for Team Don't Stop as he makes the turn, and there goes the hot tag.
See if Margaret Alvarez can make up some time. Looks like she is. This X coming down. Looks like Pro 1 will still maintain the leads going into the pylons. Looks like they're still maintaining the lead coming in. They're going to tag off here. Oh, it's going to be 3 right across there.
Invictus X are now taking over the lead.
Holding around in the bed, trying to keep that lead for his team. And he's got it.
And it looks like Invictus X will be the winner of this heat. That's Margot Alvarez, Christy Aramo, Holden Rethwell, and Sam Dancer. So remember, this is a team that podiumed last year at the CrossFit Games. They had a long journey to re-qualify this year as they qualified early in the season. And then they had a failed drug test. And then at that point, they brought in Margot Alvarez, and they were able to qualify again for the Games. There's Lauren Fisher coming over and congratulating everybody.
What's our last time? Pro 1.
And that would have been Regan Huckleberry you saw there, just stepping at the end.
146.72. Copy. Thank you.
So as you can see, they're getting bumped out. They just changed, I guess, the lane assignments going into the final. So there's another heat, so these can change. But right now, that's what your final looks like. Super high tech there. 1:45 until the next season.
Put it back over. Our current top 5 are Central Beasts, Mayhem Freedom, CrossFit Krypton, Invictus X, and Don't Stop.
30 seconds, all athletes in the blue. 30 seconds, all athletes in the blue.
Until the seat takes off. 7 seconds. And they're off. So just remember what is on the line here. After this event, the teams are going to be cut down to 9 teams advancing forward. So these teams right here are now fighting to get a spot in that final. You saw the final that was made up from the first 2 heats, so these guys can try to sneak in there as well. The Exterminators team is the Rob Forte team out of Australia. When they qualified, they employed kind of strategy, which is completely legal, because they basically brought in some ringers. They brought in Maddie Stewart, an individual female, and James Newberry, who's performing very well at the games this year. And once they qualified for the games, then they subbed them out. Wow, somebody went through the cones really quick there. That's CrossFit Alto. CrossFit Alto really needs to advance to the final. Because right now they currently sit right on the cut mark. They sit at the 9 spot, so they don't need to drop. So if they can get into the final, they'll pretty much assure themselves to make it past this cut. But the Exterminators team JST, definitely if they don't advance to the final here, they're going to be in trouble. She needs to really get through these pylons really quick to make her team into the final there. She needs to get 1 minute 46. It looks like she will make it. And the other 2 may be just on the outside looking in.
With a time of 1:44.49.
So now the judges will just check all the times. We'll get our final heat for the team sprint. So obviously the teams that went first will have a little bit of an advantage where they've recovered a little bit better. So we have another 3 minutes that they have to recover, stretch out and stay limber. So far, it looks like we have Don't Stop, Mayhem Freedom, Krypton, Invictus, and it looks like Mayhem Freedom just snuck in there, which would have been a big upset if they didn't make it to the final, because it's a lot of points to lose. So they really need to pick it up coming into the final, because CrossFit Krypton looks like they sit with the highest or the best time right now, and they currently sit right behind them in the leaderboard. Now, mind you, they have a little bit of a cushion of just under 100 points, but definitely Mayhem Freedom would want to keep them close in their sights. And just the scoring table changes throughout the events as the teams cut down. Because 14 teams, 11 teams, 9 teams, 7 teams, 5 teams, the point system changes. So right now, where we sit, first place will always get 100. Here, I'll let you listen to the announcer there.
In lane number 5, with the fastest time so far, Crossfit Krypton. In lane number 7, put your hands together for Crossfit India.
Okay, so just to go over the point scoring here to give you context. So we have 100 points for first place. It goes 90 points, 80 points, 70 points, and 60 points for 6th. So basically looking at that, where Mayhem Freedom came in 5th. So basically, if it ended how it just sits right now, CrossFit Krypton would get 100 points, and Mayhem Freedom would only get 60. So they'd make up their by 40 points there, which would be huge because right now they're sitting around 90 points in the difference. So they could almost cut that in half with this one event. The best thing for Mayhem, if they don't win, they would like to get probably the top 3 just to minimize that damage. Because if you come in second, you're only lose 10 points. You come in third, you're only going to lose 20. But as you get to 4th and you start losing 30 and 40 points, that would be a big disadvantage to them. That's Sam Dancer there from Invictus. So Invictus X, there's 3 Invictus teams in CrossFit Games, or there was Invictus X, Invictus, and Invictus Boston. So Invictus X, you see there's Sam Dancer, over to Rethwell. Both were former individual athletes. And the females, Christy Aramo and Margot Alvarez, also former individual female athletes. Margot Alvarez is also a vineyard owner, so I'm going to pick up some of her wine. I think it's called the Goat, I think so. You can see the teams, they're allowed to warm up, so they're just out there right now running through the course, fooling around with the pylons. And that's where this race is made, is getting quickly through those pylons. That's Alex Smith there. His brother Ben Smith got the wild card for the individual side. Started day 1 really well. He was in the top 10, but last night he got cut from the competition when he was doing Mary. Now, I think it had a lot to do with his surgery that he was recovering from. It was a knee surgery, and all those pistols, well over 100, would have definitely taken a toll on him. And if you missed it as well, on the individual men's side, Brent Fikowski, after Mary last night, got cut from the competition as well. So the former podium finisher from Canada is no longer in the CrossFit Games. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the individual side. There's a lot of stories on the men's side, a lot of stories on the female side, some cuts and near misses and stuff like that. So we'll get to that later. After the team, we have the individual sprint coming up. Is CrossFit Mayhem Freedom, who basically right here, Rich Froning and Grace Strom going, needs to minimize the damage with CrossFit Krypton, who looked a lot faster than coming up to this. So it looks like Grace Strom's doing a good job here. Looks like he's going to hand off to Teza Perez. It looks like he'll get the first tag, and off to Teza. Looks like she's going to keep... Teza Perez is a very strong individual, so it looks like she's doing a good job of keeping that lead. She's racing up against one female and looks like two males maybe. The order is totally made up by the teams. And she's slowing down a little bit here. She's being caught in the lane right beside her. It's like, don't stop, May have her. China Cho is off now. Looks like China Cho is going to maybe lose a little bit of the lead there. See how well she does in the turn. Her turn wasn't that great there. You really have to plant that foot and drive off, but we'll see if she can make it through the pylons here. And it's Rich Froning looking to go. And Rich Froning is off. And it looks like Alex Smith is running for Krypton. Froning needs to make a good turn here. That was a better turn, definitely a better turn. Rich Froning with a football background. But it looks like it's not going to be enough for him. He really needs to move up here and not finish in 5th place, because that score will really hurt them in the overall standings. But it looks like he probably will get a 5th. So it looks like CrossFit Krypton, don't stop. Mayhem Freedom is able to pull out a 3rd, which is huge for them. If they would have got a 5th, they would have gave up about 40 points to CrossFit Krypton. So as you sit right now, it looks like they'll only give out 30 points, so it's not too bad. Just so you know how the scoring goes for this. First place, 100 points. Second place, 90 points. And third place, 80 points. So as long as Mayhem stays in 3rd place, it looks like it'll be 20-point difference. If you go to the overall leaderboard, coming into this event, Mayhem Freedom was at 465 points, and CrossFit Krypton was at 374 points. So there's about a 90-point difference there. So this is big for CrossFit Krypton to inch closer to Mayhem Freedom.
And a dead sprint, and you pulled ahead right in the end. I mean, what did you need to do to get that win?
All of us together, we did exactly what we needed to the first time, which I executed again. 100% effort on that workout, so we all like that stuff, power output.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yesterday at the CrossFit Games, we had a nice flyover by some military jets. Looks like today we may get a helicopter coming over here. CrossFit is deeply rooted within the military community and the police community. A lot of first responders and military people use CrossFit to keep them ready for their jobs.
We would like to recognize those who are here with us today. If you are an active, reserve, or retired member of the military, fire, police, or EMT service, please stand up and let us give you a round of applause. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep that round of applause going for all the military members, fire service, police officers, and EMTs who are out there right now doing their jobs so we can be in here enjoying the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games.
And here comes the flyover. Not as quick as the Jets as yesterday, but he made it.
And let's hear it for our flyover conducted by a Coast Guard H-60 out of Traverse City, Michigan. Thank you once again to all those who have served and are currently in service.
This is a Coast Guard plane from Michigan doing the flyover today. It's nice to see. So as you can see in the background there, the individual females were starting to run out of the field. Here are the official results. It looked like they adjusted. Now Mayhem is in fourth. So it's CrossFit Krypton, Invictus X, Don't Stop, Mayhem Freedom, and CrossFit Alto. So that's a big event for CrossFit Krypton, who will pick up a lot of points on CrossFit Mayhem Freedom. For CrossFit Mayhem Freedom, they finished in fourth place. That gives them 70 points in the event, and Krypton will get 100 points. So they'll make up 30 points on CrossFit Mayhem Freedom, and when this leaderboard adjusts, there should be about a 60-point lead for CrossFit Mayhem Freedom over Krypton. And remember, the field will cut down. It will cut down to 9 teams, so we'll have those official results in a little bit here.
Anna Frango, Kristen Holta, Tia Claire Toomey, Gary Pierce.
So here's our, this is one of our, I guess, our top heats, you'd say. We got Tia Claire Toomey in there, who's the overall leader right now, by about 12 points over Carrie Pierce. Kristen Holta is in third, Jamie Green in fourth, Anna Farku in fifth, and Amanda Barnhart, who's on the screen right now. She currently sits in sixth place, followed by Brooke Wells. So these ladies still have time to warm up. There's probably about another 3 minutes before they have to go. You can see that all the different athletes are kind of stacked up, ready to go there. There's Jamie Green. Jamie Green currently sits in fourth. Carrie Pierce currently sits in second. Carrie Pierce had an amazing event number 5 last night with Mary. She put in more reps than any of the males as well. And she, of course, won that event. Coming in second was Kristen Holta, Jamie Green third, and Tia Claire Toomey was fourth for the event last night, Mary inside the Coliseum. And those are our overall leaders right there. You note at number 9, we have Haley Adams, an 18-year-old who's having a really good rookie appearance at the games. Now this is, I guess, as an individual, she's a rookie. She has been here and is a former champ of the team division. So the athletes are given about 90 seconds, so they're allowed to go out and test the course, and warm up as much as they want to. So athletes will stretch their legs out a little bit, practice the route to the pylons. So under the stress of the event, it's not the first time going through it. And this was done probably about, what would I say, it'd be maybe 4 or 5 years ago. At the games, a similar type of sprint event, but they had the hurdles. You'll remember kind of the iconic photo of Dan Bailey jumping over the hurdle, grabbing his sunglasses as they fell off his head. That was the last time I can remember a sprint like this in the games. And here's the Heat 1 lane assignments. That's Kristen Holta there. Remember, Kristen Holta is third. So in theory, if this whole heat does really well, they could all be in the final as well. So basically all the heats will go off and the top scorers will be placed in the final, and they'll compete for the points. And just to remember, after this event, the field is cut from 20 athletes down to 10. So this is going to be a full cut. So this is a little different, the sprint than the teams. There's going to be a few more brackets or rounds, as there's obviously more competitors than the team side of things. So it'll be 3-round bracketed tournament. Looks like Carrie Pierce and Holta out there. There's Holta going around the corner. Tia Claire right with her. Looks like the top of your screen you have Amanda Barnhart. But it looks like Kristen Holta right now is in the lead. And here she comes around in her last pile on. And now into the finish. Looks like she'll take this one. So it looks like it was probably Holta, Toomey, and Amanda Barnhart. We'll wait for the results to pop up here. So you have Holta in first, Toomey in second, Green in third, Barku in fourth, and Carrie Pierce fifth. So what will happen is all the scores we placed on these little cards from the heat will be moved to the next round, and then as the other heats go, people will be bumped out. So it won't be until the last heat goes that we know who makes it to the next round.
Athletes, your practice time starts now. Athletes, it's your time to run the course.
Carrie Pierce, a time of 29.65. 29.65, Ragu, with a time of 29.11.
There's the highest pressure job in the stadium there today. Scorekeeper with her magic market. What does she have written on her hand? She has down. I don't know what that is.
Kyle's going to read it.
So again, all these scores could stand up and they could go to the semifinals, but a lot of the athletes coming up next will probably knock some of these a little bit out. Oh, she sounded like she's a little stressed there. So we got 30 seconds till we go off here. You can see Amanda Barnhart, Bethany Shadburn, Brooke Wells, a lot of very strong individuals here. Annie Thorsdottir. I don't really see this be a great event for Annie Thorsdottir, but we'll see. I definitely see Barnhart doing well in this one. I think Brooke Wells has a track background as well from university, so we'll see if that parlays over here. Annie's at the bottom of your screen here. You'll see her around the corner. She's not too far behind. Looks like Bethany Shadburn may have the lead here. Annie with those big long legs. She's trying to catch up. It looks like Bethany Shadburn still has a lead. There's going to be a sprint to the finish. Oh, looks like Haley Adams came on strong at the end. Bethany Shadburn, Brooke Wells, Annie Thorsdottir, and Barnhart, which I'm a little surprised by. I can just see what Brooke Wells is asking her judge here. I don't know, maybe if there's some contact on the field, because when the athletes hit a certain point, they do come pretty close to each other. So we have another 2 minutes till the next heat comes out. The athletes now are allowed to warm up on the field.
Athletes, your 90-second run through starts now. Athletes, your 90-second run through starts now.
We have 1:45 till the next heat kicks off. So if you're just tuning in now, this is women's event number 6, the sprint. The teams just did that, and the males will be after this. So this is the start list for Heat 3. Daniel Brandon, who's having a good games. Helga daughter, Sam Briggs, Catherine Davis daughter, and Pacelli. So I can see Sam Briggs doing well with this, and Davis daughter. But for my outside pick, I'm going to pick to win this heat. I'm going to pick Helga daughter. That's Brandon there. He's been doing very well at the games. So Brandon currently sits 14th. So remember, after this, the field is going to be cut from 20 down to 10. So somebody like Catherine Davis daughter, who sits at 11, she has a lot to lose here. So she really needs to get herself into the semifinal to collect some good points. She would be your, I guess, her and Sam Briggs would be your biggest names that sit outside the top 10 right now.
Stand by.
Looks like Catherine's doing pretty well. She's kind of in the middle of your screen there. Pacelli as well. Looks like Sam Briggs is really laboring at the bottom of the screen here. Catherine Davis daughter is falling behind. She really needs to do well here, but it's not looking good for her. So based on these results here, it's not looking good for Catherine Davis daughter and Sam Briggs. If they don't advance to the semifinals, they're going to be in big trouble for getting cut here. So my pick for Helga daughter actually came through. So remember, their times are all going against all the other heats. I'll be up to the score here to figure out who's going to the semifinals.
Next athlete, your 90-second run-through.
Seems like your good times, if you can get into the 27.5 type of thing, that's where you want to be to get to the semifinals. And this is where the race is won or lost, trying to get around these pylons. So this heat should have second-year Laura Horvath, who is also at risk of not making it. And Sarah Signa's daughter last night just snuck in with Mary. She had a 15th place finish at Mary. That moved her from 25th overall up to 20 and survived the cut. But being, I guess, blunt here, I think Sarah would need a miracle now to survive this cut, as the cut is very drastic. It goes from 20 down to 10. So you'd have to see Sarah almost win this event, I think, to be able to advance. So 1 minute to heat 4 here. Here comes the start list for this heat. So we got Carolyn Ann Reason-Thibault, Laura Horvath, Sarah Signesdottir, Emily Rolfe, Carolyn Prevost. So you really want to focus on Sarah Signesdottir and Laura Horvath here, both at risk of being cut. It should be kind of a loss for the games, I think, especially Sarah Signesdottir, big fan favorite. But she's just not having the game she's been hoping for this year. And there's a lot of hype building behind Sarah coming to the games. It looks like she has a pair of Nike kind of sprint track shoes there, a turf shoe.
10 seconds.
Here we go. Looks like Laura Horvath is doing well. Looks like Sarah's doing well there. Laura Horvath is doing well. Sarah really needs to pick it up now. She's passing some of the competitors. But she'll probably want to be in the top 2 here to make herself to the semifinals. Look at the top of your screen, we've got her first, then Laura Horvath, and maybe Sarah Signesdottir in third. Yep. So Carolyn Prevost from Canada, Laura Horvath number 2. Sarah Signesdottir at 29.55. I don't think will be enough to advance. We'll see though. There's been a lot of scores in the 27 and 28s. That's Cheryl Prevost there walking with the judge with her score of 27.71. Should be enough to advance to the semifinal, but they'll do those calculations now. So just to give you some context too, what we're looking at here is after this event, the field is cut from 20 down to 10. Cheryl Prevost, who won that heat, sits at 19, so she'd have to jump 9 spots up to 10th. So if she doesn't get to that semifinal, it's going to be rough for her, the same as Sarah. If she doesn't get to that semifinal, I think Sarah's CrossFit Games would be done here.
Semifinal round. Just give us a little bit here, and we'll have that information back to you.
There's Tia with the shirt over her head, trying to stay cool. So as you can see, there's going to be 10 individuals that advance to the final, and not to beat a dead horse, but Sam Briggs and Sarah Sigmundsdottir would really need to advance. And looking at Sam Briggs' score there of 30, I really don't think that will be enough to get her. It's one of the lower ones. And there's Catherine Zavisdottir, the former champ. She currently sits in 11th spot. So the same type of thing. She would really want to advance those semifinals. Just to see how the scoring chart changes here. So sitting at 20 athletes, first place will get 100 points, all the way down to 20th place would get, I think, 31 points. So that would be, or no, sorry, 20th place would get 5 points. I was looking at the wrong scoring table. So first place 100, and it drops all the way to 20th at 5 points. So it's drastic. Even if you get 10th in this event, so last in the semifinal round, you're looking at a score of 60 points. There's Amy Thornsdottir sitting down and drinking some cold water. Amy Thornsdottir currently sits right at the cut line at 10. She didn't have one of the best sprints here, so we'll see if she advances to the semi.
You guys enjoying that sprint event so far? Yes, the athletes are waiting in anticipation while we look for those top 10 scores. Like I said, the top 10 will then advance to the semifinal. From there, we'll take the top 5 into the final event. It's going to be good. I have no doubt. All right, guys, just in time. We'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Okay, we're just waiting for the scores to be announced, and the top 10 will move to the semi-final. It's really important to take the time here and get this right. There was a couple of scoring errors last night that led to, like on the men's side, Rory George just thinking he was through and then ended up being eliminated. So they don't want any mess ups here, because then we'll be able to rerun the sprint. There's head judge Boz, making sure everything's going smoothly.
Zavisdottir is in first place.
3-8-7.
I need to know the first semifinal heat, starting with the first qualifier. We'll go from there. Top time.
see one of the scoring guys on his walkie-talkie there. And they're probably conferring with the people backstage to make sure everything's official.
Multi-second, what's third?
Is that Brooke Wells there? Looks like Brooke Wells is crying. So Brooke Wells currently sits at 7th. So depending on how she does here, she could be eliminated from the CrossFit Games. I think that's what's going through her mind right now. Very emotional. The athletes came into this year not knowing what to expect. They didn't know the events. And a lot of stuff is put on the line to make it to the CrossFit Games. And a lot of these athletes are professional athletes, and this is what they do. So for them not to make it to the final day being Sunday would be a big loss for them. So it looks like one heat's made up of Tia Claire Toomey, Daniel Brandon, Berga Helmedottir, Kristen Holte, and Cheryl Prigos. Oh, I see. It looks like Brooke Wells' score was adjusted. You can see there in red. It looks like Brooke Wells got some type of penalty. I don't know if she missed a pile-on, but it looks like she has 38.77. It's written in a red marker, so it looks like she was probably assessed a penalty. She was probably 28.77 prior to that. Looks like the second semifinal started to shape up there with JV Green, Haley Adams, Laura Horvath. It looks like it will be close for Kathleen Davis-Daughter. She may make it through there. From what I can see, it looks like Bethany Shadburn would be next, then Kathleen Davis-Daughter. Let's see. There's Bethany Shadburn. And I think it's going to be Kathleen Davis-Daughter, which is huge for her. Wow. It looks like Brooke Wells, if she wasn't assessed that penalty, would have made it to the semifinals. So this could be huge for Brooke Wells. And that's why obviously you see her upset on the sidelines there. So this is advancing to the semifinals. Berga Helmedottir, Kristen Hope, Daniel Brandon, Sharon Pugos, Tia Claire Toomey, Jamie Green, Haley Adams, Laura Horvath, Bethany Shadburn, and Kathleen Davis-Daughter. And just to recap, it looks like Brooke Wells was assessed a major penalty, a 10-second penalty, which knocked her out of the semifinals. So we have 2 minutes until the start of the next heat. And obviously this year has a very different feel with all these very drastic cuts, the different scoring. As you can see, Tia Claire has the leader's jersey right now. She didn't have it all weekend. And currently on the men's side, Matt Frazier is not wearing the leader's jersey because a lot of people would not be expecting that. So just to let you know, the people that are at risk based on not advancing to the semifinal, your Annie Thorsdottir, Annie Thorsdottir, Sam Briggs, Sarah Signesdottir, Brooke Wells, they're all at risk now of being cut from the event and the CrossFit Games. About 25 seconds till this kicks off. So there's going to be 2 semifinal heats. As you can see here, this one is comprised of your overall leader right now, Tia Claire Toomey. 10 seconds. Tia Claire's at the very top of your screen, as you can see there. There's Cheryl Pivos, who won her heat. Who looks like maybe Helgadottir. That's going to be a close one there. At the very top, Tia Claire's coming in. Looks like Catherine's going a little slower here. There's that Hoka, Helgadottir, Toomey, Pivos, and Brandon. Hoka has always been good at the running type events. So again, these semifinal times are going to be put up against the second heat, and the top 5 will advance to the final. There's Helgadottir. Oops, she had a little bit of a stumble there. Hope they were so fluid right there. So just this is the top 10 in the semifinals. Just look at the scoring. So obviously first place will get 100 points, and if you come in 10th, you'll get 55 points. It's a huge swing, a 50-point difference almost, 45-point difference before coming in first versus 10th in this event. One minute to the next heat. Seconds.
Stand by.
Standing off. Here's Bethany Shadburn right beside us here. We have Kathy Davis out at the very top of your screen. It's going to be a close one to call. Call this last corner. Right in the middle, there's your winner. Looks like Jamie Green, Haley Adams, Catherine Davis out of Bethany Shadboard, and Laura Horvath. Looks like she didn't finish it according to this times of video. This will be a good race between Jamie Green and Kristen Holta in the final. Both those females are rated in striking distance for the title. You have Kristen Holta in third, and Jamie Green sit fourth in the overall standings right now. Looks like Laura Horvath is walking off. I'm not sure what happened there. Doesn't look like Laura Horvath was given a time. I didn't see what happened. I don't know if she stumbled and hurt herself. We'll have to wait and see if they do a replay there. She does not look happy, obviously. Laura Horvath currently sits on the outside looking in at number 18. So remember, the field cuts from 20 down to 10 after this event. There's Jamie Green. So it looks like what they're saying is Laura Horvath's chip maybe malfunctioned, and they didn't get a score over there. So I'm not sure what it's not fair that they rerun. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. We'll have to see what the head judge says about that. But yeah, she had an issue with her timing. I don't know if they can go back to the video and review the official time clock type of thing, but we'll have to see what they decide to do here. And it looked like Laura Horvath is right in the middle of all that. So there's going to be a slight delay here, obviously. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Laura Horvath, I think. So I don't know if they could advance her to the final and make another lane. It doesn't look like there's enough space in the field to do that, so I'm not sure what they're doing here. Just as we're waiting for them to figure out that, we'll just go over the leaderboard. So in first we have Tia Claire Toomey, second Carrie Pierce, third Kristen Holte. You can see on the screen there with the hat on, the black hat. Jamie Green to the left of your screen, Anna Farkow in fifth, Amanda Barnhart sixth, Brooke Wells in seventh, Bethany Shadberg in eighth, Haley Adams 9, and Amy Pulitzer 10. Remember, the field cuts down to 10. Laura Horvath, who they're having a timing issue with right now, sits at number 18, so she definitely needs to advance to the final if she wants to have a chance to continue at the CrossFit Games. You can see they have the head judge there, Boz, and they have the scoring. They're just trying to sort through that timing right now. That's the announcer, Kiki. So they're just trying to figure out what they're going to do. I guess the biggest thing is to get an estimate of what her time was or where she finished. You can see that based on the other people's finishes and see if it would have mattered if she would have advanced. Looks like Boz is kind of trying to work things through here. This may be a thing going to go over to Dave Castro and see what he wants to do. Usually I thought they would test these chips beforehand, and obviously it worked in the other races, so I don't know if it got wet or something like that. But there's Haley Adams that was just waving. Haley Adams currently sits 9th overall, so she's on the inside looking out the inside right now, so she's safe, but it depends on how she does through this event. So Haley Adams currently has a cushion of about 36 points over 10th place. So if you're just tuning in right now, we're in the women's events number 6, which is the sprints. There's a bit of a pause here right now. We're in the middle of the semifinals, and the reason being is that Laura Horvath, who just ran one of the semifinal races, her chip malfunctioned and they weren't able to record a score for her. So now they're just trying to figure out what her score was and what they would do to go forward here, which obviously has to be fair to everybody. You can't send Laura Horvath out to run another race against herself. It's not fair for them to redo the heat as well, because now everybody's going to do an extra heat compared to the other semifinals. So we'll see what happens, what comes from this. I think the biggest thing to do is just determine, based on the video, where she placed. So she came in 3rd. Look at the second place finisher's time, and if you gave her a fraction of a second off that, would that be enough to advance after they've done the semifinals? And then if it's close, then you guys can get into something else. But I think that would be the fairest and the easiest way to do it right now. So we're still waiting on the second semifinal. And I think that's what you're seeing right now, is that they're making up the final. And they would have looked at the video and saw roughly what Laura Horvath would have had for her score. And they would just see if she would have slotted into the final. And it doesn't look like she is, so it looks like the final will be Sherilyn Prevost, Verga Helgadottir, Kristen Holta, Jamie Green, and Tia Claire Turner. So based on the first, I guess it's based on the 2 semifinals, the people to watch in this would be Jamie Green and Kristen Holta. You would expect an event win out of one of those two, unless Tia Claire pulls something out. But we have 2 minutes into the final, and the ones coming in favorite is like Kristen Holta and Jamie Green. Holta is on the screen there right now. Doing that fancy footwork, most features of sprinting background. Chris Pam just answered your question there. Looks like the men will be right up after this. Now, there's been some delays due to the scoring issue, so they don't have the exact time, but once they clear the female off, the men will come out onto the field. About another minute 20 to the start of this women's final, and then the men will be up after that. About 30 seconds now to the start. So the person with the most on the line here was the Verga Helgadottir, as she currently sits 12th in the standings, and the top 10 only advance after this. 15 seconds. So your favorites would be Green and Holta, with the most on the line probably from Verga Helgadottir. Tia's out to a little bit of an early lead there. Looks like Holta and Green right beside her. It's pretty even coming around there. It looks like right in the middle is that Holta. It looks like Holta has the lead. Tia Claire coming up strong on the outside here. And they all come to this pile on. Looks like it's going to be Holta, is it? Yeah, Holta, Krivos, Toomey, Haugedotter, and Green. So we'll have to see how this affects Haugedotter. He was coming into this event at 12th place. Now obviously being in the top 5, she'll have some good points. So I think these guys are coming out to switch over the field quickly for the men's as they fell behind with the scoring issue with Cora Horvath's chip not working. This is not, there's no big surprise. Holta and Green were kind of your favorites coming into this. We have an interview coming up with your winner, Kristen Holta. Who currently sits 3rd overall, roughly, I would say 15 points behind Tia Kuratumi. So this would be a big win for her. So I think we'll see the leaderboard shift again.
And when the heats are whittled down like that and everything is on the line because of cuts, how important is it for you to get to the top of an event like this?
I know you always want to be on the top, and it's super fun to be in the final and just try to run as fast as I can.
Now, what was it like out there? I mean, you had to do it over and over, and after a couple days of competition already, how did it feel?
Like, this is what we train for, to be able to repeat time after time. So it was super fun, and the atmosphere is amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, women's heat 1 for the sprint. Race number 9, Adrian Woodbiller. Race 7, Jacob Hefner. Lane number 5, Noah Olsen. And lane number 3, Matt Fraser. Heat number 1, 90 seconds to run the course. And rounding out this year, lane number 1, Scott Patchett.
So we have 2 minutes until the men's heat. A lot of people underestimate Matt Fraser when it comes to the sprinting events, but he's definitely a very good sprinter. We'll have the women's stats when they come available, the leaderboard. Just a reminder, these men and women are facing a 50% cut, so the field's going to go from 20 down to 10. So just go over our men's leaderboard right now. We have Noah Olsen in first place. He'll be wearing the leader's jersey. Matt Fraser in second. Jacob Hepner in third. Scott Panchik in fourth. Adrian Munweiler. Oh, look at Noah Olsen looking good in that leader's jersey and shorts. James Newberry in sixth. He's having really good games. Will Morad 7. Carl Gudmundsson in 8. Matt McLeod in 9. And Patrick Bellner in 10, as you can see on the screen here right now. So as the scoring is adjusted, these events become very important to place the top 10. If you look at where we sit now with 20 athletes, obviously first place gets 100 points, and as you go down to 10th place, they get 55 points. There's a 45-point swing between first and 10th, so to get 10th, you either come into the semifinals. So look for the heat winners here. You really want to advance to that semifinals. There's Matt Fraser. Must feel naked without his leader jersey on. And you know he'll be out there trying to get that back. Jacob Hepner there. Point down at somebody. I think that was Noah Olsen he was pointing at.
Stand by.
Looks like Noah Olsen here in the middle. Adrian Munweiler here on the outside. Looks like he got to the cone first. Looks like Noah Olsen might be pulling ahead. Matt Fraser up above him. Adrian Munweiler is doing really well here. He'd be better on the full out going down the field. These pylons going to slow him down a little bit. Looks like Noah Olsen's going to win this one. Noah Olsen's not letting up. Once he got that leading jersey, he doesn't want to give it back. So Noah Olsen, his time now will have to go against the other heats, and we'll see who advances to the semifinal. But that time of 25.60 should be enough to advance him to the semifinals. But we'll wait and see. We got 40 seconds till the next heat comes up here. So for these heats, you will not see Brent Fikowski if you didn't tune in last night. Brent Fikowski got cut after the event last night with Mary. Not a great event for larger guys. He didn't perform that well, and he's been cut, eliminated from the CrossFit Games. So you'll see on the screen there was Patrick Vellner warming up. He currently sits in 10th right at the cut line. So we're at a minute 15 till the start. And these heats will determine who go to the semifinal and then the finals. There's Noah Olsen. I think they'll probably look at the Jumbotron at replays.
Stand by.
Here we go. Pat Vellner closest to us. James Newberry in the middle, who's been doing very well at the games. And it looks like Vellner maybe got to the pylon first. See if he can keep that up. Right above him is Carl Jimison, is that right? The two of these pylons. Looks like Newberry's gaining some ground. And wait for the timer here. Yeah, it looks like Goodmanson came in first. Oh, Will Morta at the top of the screen got second. Matt McLeod third. James Newberry fourth. And Patrick Vellner fifth. So this could be scary for Pat Vellner. We could have both the top Canadians eliminated after this event, because I don't know if Vellner will have enough here to advance the semifinal. He's currently sitting at the cut line at 10. This could be very bad for him. So I guess I throw this question out to you. What do you guys think about the new cuts? Do you like this? Do you find this is more exciting? Do you not like it because it doesn't give guys like a Pat Vellner who maybe starts slow time to build up and advance throughout the week? Chris Van, I saw your question there. We don't know all the events, but we do know that there should be, basically what's been going on is that Castro's been announcing events as you go. So we don't know anything after this, but there's probably should be another 2 more events, probably a little later than one at night tonight, but we have to wait for Castro to announce that. So basically this year at the games, they've been completely left in the dark. Years past, you'd be given maybe the complete next day's workout. Maybe the Coliseum one wasn't announced. But this year, the athletes are just getting one workout at a time. You just have to be ready to go.
30 seconds, athletes, take your mark. 30 seconds, athletes, take your mark.
Roughly 30 seconds till the next heat. And as we go, each of these heats, the individuals are at a higher risk of being eliminated. Remember, the field cuts from 20 to 10 after this event, and these are the lower seeded individuals.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
There's Travis Mayer, Logan Collins. Good to see Logan Collins recover. Last night in the event, Mary, his legs cramped right up on him. Looks like Travis Mayer, though, gets the pylons first. Looks like Travis Mayer is still maintaining his lead. We'll see if that stays up. And it looks like it's going to be Travis Mayer and Logan Collins in third. So we got Travis May, Cole Sagan, Sam McQuant, Logan Collins, and Lucas Holmberg in 5th. So again, these individuals are fighting to go to the semifinal. The top 10 will go to the semifinal, and the top 5 will advance to the final. So now the athletes have to cool down, recover, and obviously they have to stay loose because we'll be racing again in the semifinals. So you have 2 minutes until the next heat. 2 minutes until the next heat. Yeah, I definitely think this format is a little bit more exciting. But yeah, it's very true that it is dependent on the workout. Like last night, Brent Bukowski getting eliminated with Mary workout that favored the short guys like Jacob Pepper and Noah Olsen who won it, Will Morad. If that would have been a long chipper with some heavy weights and stuff like that, that definitely would have favored Bukowski. He would have had a chance to advance. The same thing here with Pat Bellner, who sits at 10. This is not really a Pat Bellner type of event, so now this will knock him out. But I guess this rewards, and this is what it is, the people that are the most consistent. Like Matt Frazier is still at the top of the leaderboard, and you got a guy like, the top 2. Noah Olsen sits at the top of the leaderboard, a very consistent athlete. He's consistently been at the games, been in the top 5, never really won an event until this year, but yet he's able to maintain kind of like a top 10 type of status. So this year is definitely rewarding the more all-around athlete that can have top 10 finishes every single time. If you're watching on there on Twitch or YouTube, just give me a follow or a sub. Then it will pop up when I have my next event going up live. I'll be broadcasting all today and tomorrow as well. So this is the final heat. Looks like you see Chandler Smith in the middle. These guys are the ones that are most risk now of being eliminated as the fields go cut from 20 to 10, and these are the lower seeded athletes.
Stand by.
Here we go. Stand by.
So that was the first time out of all the teams, the females and the males, that we've seen a false start. We'll see who they assess that against. So they give them 1 minute to kind of reset, loosen things up, and they'll be off again. Seconds until the seats rerun. Right there, the screen was Casper Gellermark. Casper Gellermark was on the outside looking in last night, and then there was a scoring readjustment late last night that moved him into the 20th spot, knocking Willie Georges out of the top 20. Obviously, Willie Georges was quite upset about that, but that's how it goes. They kind of do the most fair. Looks like maybe Saxon Panchik. Casper Gellermark at the top of the screen, but Saxon's gaining on him. Chandler Smith looks like he was sitting third. And it looks like it'd be Saxon. No, Wistrop. Saxon Panchik, Smith, Gellermark, and Elliott Simmons. So now all these times would be compiled, and then the top 10 will advance to the semifinals. The top 10 will go to the semifinals.
Chandler Smith, 26.35. Gellermark, 27.58. And Simmons, 27.82. Yellow mark is 27.58. Simmons, 27.82.
That's Casper Gellermark, a rookie at the games last year, or this year, sorry. That's Wittrup, who was up high in the leaderboard earlier in the week, but now these athletes are the bottom 5 basically, as we have our top 20 that are competing in this event. So if you go up from 20 to 15, there's Casper Gellermark, Joshua Wittrup, Saxon Panchik, Elliot Simmons, and Chandler Smith that are in those bottom 5 spots right now. You can see there's a fancy, it looks like some, Patrick Vellner, it looks like he was assessed a penalty, I'm not sure what for, but when you see we saw the same thing in the previous, for the women. Brooke Wells was assessed a penalty, they wrote it in red, and it makes sense they gave him about 10 extra seconds there. I'm not sure what his penalty was for. It looks like Patrick Vellner will not be advancing to the semifinal and definitely will be at risk of being eliminated, as he currently sits in 10th and only has a 9-point lead over Cole Sager in number 11. So as they build the semifinals here, they're building the first semifinal. We'll say it's going to be Will Morad, Carl Gudmundsson, Joshua Wittrup, Saxon Panchik, and Noah Olsen.
All right, in lane number 1, it's Will Morad. Lane number 3, Carl Gudmundsson.
So basically these were the highest place finishes of the first sprint, and what happens is they get to go now, and they will get a little bit of extra rest going into the final, obviously. So we saw as the camera was panning there, we saw Patrick Vellner. It doesn't look like Patrick Vellner will advance to the semi-final, which will put him at risk of being eliminated now.
Semifinals, 1 athletes, you have 90 seconds to run the course. Semifinals, 1 athletes, you have 90 seconds to run the course.
So the athletes right now, they have the ability, if they want to run out on the course, go along the pylons. I just think that you saw them do that at first heat. This time, they already know what the course is. You'll just find them kind of moving around, keeping their legs when you don't see them probably go over the main thing. These are the ones that have advanced to the semi-final. Wittrup, Saxon Panchik, Carl Gudmundsson, Noah Olsen, Will Morad, Travis Mayer, Cole Sager, Matt McLeod, Scott Panchik, and James Newberry. So with Patrick Vellner being assessed that penalty, this severely hurts his chances of advancing. So it looks like, we'll obviously wait for the official scoring, but it looks like after this event, Patrick Vellner will be eliminated from the CrossFit Games. But you never know. We'll wait to see how everything stacks up in the points. You may be able to hold on. This was huge for Cole Sager, who currently sits in 7th. He's advancing over Pat Bellmer, obviously, so he'll get more points, and he's about 9 points behind Pat Bellmer, so this is huge for him to advance. 30 seconds to the start. Here we go. Let's see how Noah Olsen does. We're off. Noah Olsen is closest to us with the red shorts on, obviously, the leader shorts. Love to see him advance to the finals. Looks like he had a good turn. The guys are pretty straight across the line. It looks like Noah may be just a hair ahead on the top of your screen. Looks like Noah's falling behind here. Doesn't look like Noah's going to get through here. So Noah Olsen came in 5th. He kind of tailed off the end, a little more out in 1st. Carl Gibbs in 2nd. Saxon Panchik in 3rd. Wittstrop in 4th. And Noah Olsen in 5th. Now we'll see who announces for the second semifinal. So it looks like for the second semifinal we have James Newbury, Matt McLeod, Travis Mayer, Cole Sager. It looks like it was Scott Panchik down below there. So it doesn't look like Matt Fraser advanced, which would be huge for a point standing. So just to put things in context here, if Matt Fraser, you'll see the start there again, but didn't make it to the semifinals, the points through 1 through 10 in this event go from 100 down to 55. So if Matt Fraser is out of that, it looks like Matt Fraser will be getting under 55 points for this event. There could be a lot of movement at the top of that leaderboard, as Matt Fraser is currently 5 points out of 1st place. He does have a nice little cushion below Jacob Hepner at 3, which is 40 points. And then maybe another 50 points below him is Scott Panchik, who did advance to the semifinals. For 20 seconds, so this kicks off. So what you'd be wanting to watch here would be Cole Sager to see how he performs.
Stand by.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our heat on the side.
Looks like Scott Panchik will get to the pylon first. See if he can keep that up. Scott Panchik is the closest one to us here. Travis Mayer won his heat before. It looks like Travis Mayer may... No. It's going to be close. It was too close to call. Travis Mayer was right in the middle. And it looks like it was a tie between Travis Mayer and Matt McLeod. Scott Panchik, Cole Sager, and Newberry. Matt McLeod has been on a nice little run here the last little bit. But if you look back at Mary, the last event he had a 5th. The sprint couplet before that he had a 1st. But he still sits at 9th. But if he advances to the final here, Matt McLeod will put him in a good position to continue through the CrossFit Games. One thing just to bear in mind is last year's podium of Matt Fraser, Vellner, and Lucas Holberg. There could only be one after this event that's still in the CrossFit Games, and that being Matt Fraser. It looks like Vellner and Holberg will be on the outside looking in. Looks like they'll fall to their cuts here, but we'll have to see until it's official. Currently coming into this event, Pat Vellner was sitting 10th. He didn't advance to the semifinal, and Lucas Holberg was sitting 14th. So we'll wait till the official. That's what we could be looking at. Back there holding the camera with the Hustle Made shirt is Craig Ritchie. Awesome vlog on YouTube, Team Ritchie. So right now the scoring team is looking at possibly addressing some penalties that may be assessed. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here, and we'll see what the top 5 will be going to the finals.
I'd be looking at the white, not the yellow.
Witrup with a penalty, assessed a 10-second penalty. So it looks like somebody stepped on the yellow line at the end of the race. That'd be Joshua Witrup. That would basically put you out of bounds. So it looks like that cost him a spot in the final. He would have advanced to the finals. But it looks like we have Matt McLeod, Saxon Panchik. There's Matt McLeod right there. Noah Olsen behind him. Here we go, Matt McLeod, Saxon Panchik, Will Morad, Carl Gibson, and Noah Olsen. So it looks like Noah Olsen can take a commanding lead over Matt Fraser, as Matt Fraser didn't even make the semifinals, and Noah Olsen now is into the finals. So the leaderboard will look drastically different after this. There's Will Morad.
Final heat athletes, you have 90 seconds to run the course. Final heat athletes, you have 90 seconds to run the course.
Now, with this new scoring system, as I said, with Matt Fraser falling out of the top 10 in this event, his points, we have to see where he's placed, will be under 55 points. So it'll be a dramatic swing with Noah Olsen possibly being, or he will be in the top 5, possibly being in the top 3, where you get 100 to 90 points. So let's say Noah Olsen is third in this event, gets 90 points, and let's say Matt Fraser came in, we'll give him something conservative, at 12th, you'll get 45 points. So almost a 50-point swing there that Noah Olsen could have late in his lead. But as this goes on, you'll see a lot of changes, because now once the field cut to 10 athletes, which it will be after this event, first place will get 100 points and 10th place will get 10 points. So you can see a lot of swings going for the rest of Saturday and into Sunday. So get ready. The leaderboard's going to be constantly changing.
30 seconds.
And it looks like Pat Bellmer will not be in there, but we'll have to wait for confirmation on that. He got a 10-second penalty that probably put him in last in this event, giving him 5 points probably overall. 5 points overall. And that should be enough to eliminate him from the games. Not that I want him to be, fellow Canadian, and obviously the podium. And you start to question, is the test right when the former second place and third place person like Pat Bellmer is now eliminated? But that's what the games are, and that's what we live within. Here we go. Noah Olsen looks like he's right there. Looks like Carl Gunderson maybe has a lead over Noah Olsen coming into these. Okay. Makes the cut. Looks like they're pretty neck and neck. Maybe Carl Gunderson a little bit ahead. Looks like Carl Gunderson maybe took the win here. No, Saxon Panchik stole it from him. Carl Gunderson in second. Noah Olsen in third, followed by Matt McLeod and Will Moran. So Noah Olsen will score 90 points in this event. Saxon Panchik will get the 100. This is big for Saxon Panchik. Saxon Panchik was sitting at 18th. Remember, the field's going to be cut from 20 to 10. That 100 points will help him. Will it be enough, though, to get him up there? I don't know, but we'll find out. So we'll probably expect an interview here from Saxon Panchik. Again, coming to this event, sitting at number 18th. This will give him 100 points. That will bring him up to 387 points. So we'll see what happens here with all the placements. It may not be enough, but we'll see. We have an interview coming up with Saxon Panchik. The event winner will be event number 6, the sprint. There's Saxon Panchik, obviously the younger brother of Scott Panchik, showing the picture there. And they also have another brother, Saxon is a twin, named Spencer Panchik, who attempted to qualify to the CrossFit Games. Was very close, but just didn't make it this year.
Saxon, you say you really needed that, and now that you've gotten that event win, how does it set you up for the rest of the events here to come?
It sets me up with a lot of confidence going into the rest of the events.
What's it like for you to be out here with your brother sharing the floor, especially knowing that eliminations are coming and so every point counts?
It's amazing that, that's how it is during training sessions when we get together and, competition's always on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now we'll wait to have the official leaderboard to see where the cuts are made. Remember, both the okay, here comes the overall results. We're interested to see where Matt Fraser placed. Well, it's only obviously the top 5 there, so you can get favorite athlete. Noah Olsen coming in third with 90 points. That's 90 points for Noah Olsen. And Matt Fraser will be somewhere around below 50 points that he'll get. So it'll be a big swing there. Coming up next, we'll have the full times after the event. And just, if you missed it, Pat Bellmer was assessed a penalty in the first heat, which put him most likely in the last place for that event. So next we have the team event coming up, the Big Chipper. We just have to check the exact start time, just as there was a lot of technical issues to these events, so they have changed the start time for team event number 7, called the Big Chipper. But we'll be live. I'll leave this on here, and we'll have that when I come back. So the big chipper, the team event, was set to start at 2, I guess it depends where you're going at, but 12 o'clock Central Time. So 12 o'clock Central Time. So that would be roughly in 17 minutes. We'll see if they delay that at all. But right now, as we say, if they're staying on schedule, it'll be 17 minutes until team event number 7, the big chipper.
Great job, Josh. Spotter extraordinaire. What? It's you were like, you were named the name, and I'm like, I know what it is. It's not as many familiar names. Look at the team. Were you able to look at the team? Okay. So they're good. They put them out, or we're. Y'all come in.
And going into the team competition here, team competition number 7, the big chipper. After the last event, if you missed that, they did a sprint relay as well. The teams are going to be cut down to 9, so the top 9 would advance to this event number 7. So looking at the leaderboard now has been updated. We have CrossFit Mayhem Freedom, who came in 4th in the sprint relay. They lost a little bit of their lead. I think they're still roughly about 60 points ahead of CrossFit Krypton, who comes in 2nd, CrossFit Invictus X in 3rd, CrossFit Invictus in 4th, the Central Beast in 5, OC3 Black in 6, Don't Stop in 7, CrossFit Altos at 8, and CrossFit Pro 1 at 9. So the teams that would be eliminated would be your Team JST, Exterminators. Those are the 2 teams that would have been eliminated, JST and Exterminators. Exterminators being the Rob Forte team of Australia, and JST was out of Great Britain.
CEO of GORA, the badge that you saw in the competition for. Jason McCarthy, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for having me, man.
relationships, and fitness, everything always falls into place. Stevia, live your best.
Some days we are tougher than others. But we see each other with no one's care. We slept together. We endured together. Every one of us redefining ourselves.
Olsen, McLeod, Morad, Mayer,
Together.
Sager,
All of
Newberry,
us.
Wittrup, Swan, Collins, Runwilder, Smith, Frazier, Hochberg, Hefner, Simmons, Milner, Camelmark.
I don't see anyone that pieces yet.
Matt Frazier, another event win.
That took my soul away.
Chanel purse every time she go on foot. Drop it to the floor, make it move, picture something. I'm on group face, telling me and I'm out. You can see me move, you don't know I want to go. Half bag sweet, I'ma pass it to my bros. Fake kick, I'ma leave my brother close to 2 point. Like fingers, have the dog, got a blue joint. How you was against the black snitch and y'all wink. Work too hard, you can't get a phone from me. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands, 10 bands in the right hand. 10 bands in my left hand. Santa Claus bag, sit up on it. Shit, night bag, had the shooters get up on it. You see the red Lamborghini that I hit the corner. Why'd you got together here? Benny something. Papa bag, shit bag, hot bag. The wise shit don't fit, I ain't even take it back. Element shit when we do, I don't know. But it ain't never about it. Put you to college jazz. Big bands is a drum line. I just let the money talk, I'm in that first line. I like the sunshine, so I said, I'll do it. If I buy the bag, I'll sit there. 100 bags.
30 seconds. Stand by.
And here we go, the team chippers. It's the cheese curd that they have to do the cleans with.
Event number 7.
So remember, the athletes or the teams were cut down to 9 after that previous event.
70 pounds for the ladies.
So on the field right now we have Pro 1, the Central Beast, Invictus X, Mayhem Freedom, CrossFit Krypton, Invictus, OC3 Black, and CrossFit Alpha. And looking at the leaderboard right now, the lead for Mayhem in the white jerseys you can see there over CrossFit Krypton, who's right beside him in the pink shorts. He cut down roughly 60 points. And every placement is so important now as the teams have been reduced because the gap between scoring is so much bigger.
All our teams advancing past the first 25.
Smooth transition in between these.
And just to put this in context as well, there are 9 teams on the field right now. After this event, the bottom 2 teams will be eliminated. So the teams were cut down to 7 after this event. So it was on the screen earlier, but the workout is working in pairs. 50 cheese curd cleans, that's what they have there in the sandbag. And that cheese curd is 70 pounds for the female and 100 pounds for the males. Nothing too hard for them to manage. 50 box jump over, 50 team axle bar deadlifts, 50 synchro GHD sit-ups, 12 burpee snail jump overs, 30 synchro just goes back to a little synchro GHD sit-ups, 30 team axle bar deadlifts, 30 box jumps over, and 30 cleans to finish off with a time cap of 25 minutes. So it looks like right now we have Pro 1 leading the group. That's headed by Joe Scally, CrossFit Alto for the second, the Central Beast in third, CrossFit Krypton in fourth, OC3 Black in fifth, and Mayhem Freedom in sixth. So obviously the teams are working on the box jump overs here. Then they'll advance to that the deadlift, the axle bar deadlift. So for that deadlift, the most important, you see all the back braces and stuff lined up there. The most important thing here is to try to line up your height and your team numbers, and then your position on the bar, because you don't want that weight to shift too much to one side, as it's quite a wide bar.
Those box jump overs, not slowing any of these athletes down.
Pro 1 lane number 1. Also moving very quickly.
Looks like we still got Pro 1 in the lead. CrossFit Alto from Freedom kind of switching up spots there. and Don't Stop. It's going to rotate. It's going to be very close. On the way back is where you'll start to see a little bit more separation as the teams start to slow down.
Super teams out on that field trying to complete their last set of 25 jump overs.
And Josh's activities are shipped away. As the box jump overs, we see that loaded axle bar waiting for
715 pounds loaded up on that axle bar. Central Beastal trying to hold on to this lead. Rowan and Elliott right behind him. Invictus looking very smooth as they get over the box.
So we're still waiting on the individual men and women's leaderboards to update, as there's going to be some big cuts coming. The teams or the individuals are going to cut from 20 down to 10. Those still aren't updated, and once they are, I'll let you know.
And it goes for Elliott. Both teams that book in the competition field, lanes 9 and 1, putting on a clinic.
Just to go over the rosters here, if you're new and have been watching all weekend, Pro 1, led by Joe Scally, a former games athlete. Also David Felt Fontaine, females being Mason Nasser and Lorraine Oliver. So you see Joe Scally, the closest one to us here on the screen.
Starting there, Axel Bar deadlifts, a huge set of reps. As OC3 taking over second place.
And it looks like CrossFit Krypton, which I'm kind of surprised was the last place team to get to the deadlifts. We'll see if they can pick it up. This is all about pacing. You don't want to go up too hot. OC3 Black, their roster for you there. For the females, we have Andrea Nessler, Taylor Williamson. The males, Joe Persanti and Luke Schaefer. And on the screen right here is Pro.
Joe Scally in the game, taking a quick breather. OC3 chipping away.
Josh Lane, number 3, the judge with the Central Beasts.
Training with Pro 1, he got himself a few no reps and seems to taking a bigger breather. So it looks like OC3 Black has now pulled into the lead with the Central Beast and Don't Stop making up your top 3. That's the central piece right there on the screen. That amazing beard belongs to Joseph Tortorella.
There goes the Central Beast. Central Beast getting ready to pick up. There they go. And then there's a back and forth battle between these two super teams there. Central Beast and OC3 Black trying to keep Mayhem Freedom.
As you can see right now Central Beast has pulled in first. Mayhem Freedom were in second there. OC3 Black took over second again. This will, like I said, was to alternate until you get on the home stretch. That's where you start to see a lot more of the separations, as these deadlifts will really take a toll on the teams. Especially now coming up, and they'll have to do the box jumps again. Their legs are going to be really heavy for these.
We are approaching the 9-minute marker. Remember, 25-minute cap.
That's CrossFit Mayhem, as you can see, addressing the bar right now. They're always been known as being kind of like a well-oiled machine led by Rich Froney. They took over the lead for a second, but taking a break here now, probably OC3 Black, yes, will push ahead. And right beside them is CrossFit Krypton, who after the last event of the sprint came up quite a bit closer now. They're only 60 points away from Mayhem Freedom. Before that sprint event, it was about 90-some points. So OC3 Black is the first team on the GHC sit-ups.
We can do action for now. All for
You see CrossFit Mayhem Freedom now has finished, and this will mark the halfway part. You see all the teams kind of look down and saw that cheer. But Mayhem Freedom is on the snail jump overs. So earlier in the week, they had to push the snail down the field in groups of 2. It weighed 700 pounds. The weight here doesn't really matter, obviously, because we're just jumping over it. It's going to be a burpee snail jump over. And he has to do 12 of those. And that kind of shows the midway point. The teams after that will head back to the GHC where they'll do 30. We'll do the absolute bars will do 30. The box ups 30. Cheese are 30. The first round up was 50s. So Mayhem Freedom has about a 10 rep, 11 rep lead over OC Black. They also don't stop.
Police car, slide over the hood, Larry. I see that. Little Starsky and Hutch, little Dukes of Hazzard, I think.
Let's check it. CrossFit Krypton currently, from what I can see, sits last in this event. So it's 9 out of 9. That's where they currently sit. They won't be in jeopardy of being cut after this event because the last place teams are being cut. But they're currently second in the overall leaderboard. But if they stay in that last place, it'll give Mayhem a huge lead over them as the scoring has been adjusted for the team size now. Just give you an idea what the chart looks like. Now that we have 9 teams, the first place team will get 100 points. And if Krypton currently stays in last place, they will only get 4 points. So in theory, CrossFit Mayhem Freedom could go up with 160 points on them. And depending on who comes in second, third, and fourth, they can move out of that second place spot. So they need to really start turning on the burners and move themselves up. And OC3 Black, who keep on going up against Mayhem Freedom. They've always been a very consistent team. They've always been a team that has pushed Mayhem Freedom, but really haven't been able to break through the top echelons of teams. And currently right now they sit 6th place, so they're sitting inside that cut. So as long as they stay where they're at right now, in the top 2 or 3 in this event, they'll continue on to the next event. Right there on our screen, you can see this CrossFit Invictus. Lauren Fisher, who's doing the burpee over right now, followed by that was Tommy Venus and Regan Huckleberry, and Douglas Anderson. And there's OC3 Black. OC3 Black is up on 3 reps on CrossFit Mayhem Freedom. Remember, this is a 20-minute time cap, so we're at 14 minutes, so we have 6 minutes left until the time cap. It'll make it close for the teams to compete, finish this event.
This year, the friendly rivalry between OC3 Black and jump overs, and in this bad boy with those cheese curd cleans. Athletes, we are approaching the
Alright guys, you guys are watching here the team event. The leaderboard has updated, so I'm going to go through your top 10. So remember the field cut down to 10. We have Tia Cleo Toomey in first, Christian Holta in second, Jamie Green in third, Carrie Pierce now in fourth, Haley Adams in fifth, third Helga Daughter in sixth, and Fakun is still hanging around at seventh, Bethany Shadburn at eighth, and Catherine Davis Daughter just sneaks into the top 10 at 9 with Amanda Barnhart at 10. So on the outside looking in from that last event, we have 11, Daniel Brandon, Amy Thor's daughter 12, Carolyn Prevost 13, Michelli 14, Laura Horvath, the podium last year, will be eliminated at 15. Brooke Wells will be eliminated at 16, Carolyn Rizzi Thibault at 17, Sam Briggs will be eliminated at 18, Emily Rolfe eliminated at 19, and Sarah Simmons daughter at 17. And switching over to the men's side, Noah Olson now got a 60-point lead, roughly 65-point lead over Matthew Fraser in second, Scott Panchik in third, Carl Dumas in fourth, Will Morad in fifth, Matt McLeod in sixth, James Newberry in seventh, Saxon Panchik with an event win moved himself up into eighth, Jacob Hepner fell to 9, and Adrian Moonweiler in 10th. On the outside looking in, cut, Cole Sager, Travis Mayer, Samuel Quant, Logan Collins, Chandler Smith, Patrick Bellman, the second place finisher last year, Lucas Holmberg, the third place finisher last year at 17, Joshua Wittrup, Nate Simmons, and Casper Gellerman.
Mayhem of Freedom versus OC3 Black.
About 17 minutes. Both of our teams.
All teams are eyeing those box jump overs after those sprints. After yesterday's competition, those legs got to be beating them.
Don't stop. Advances. The Axel Bar putting themselves in third. They have Freedom. Done with the demolition. And either squad, Josh wasted any time. Both of them would like to work on the box jump overs.
Huntsville, Tennessee versus Davenport, Iowa. As these two teams going back and forth with one another, not just all competition.
Remember, the time cap for this one is 20 minutes. We're coming up to the 18-minute mark with 2 minutes left. Mayhem Freeman is up on OC3 Black by roughly 5 reps. And again, it looks like CrossFit Krypton is still sitting in last place currently, as you can see them on the GHDs there.
As we approach the 19-minute marker, number 25.
2 in a minute and a half. Mayhem Freedom still maintaining that 5-point lead or 5-rep lead over OC3 Black, and a good healthy lead over Don't Stop in third with 15 reps behind.
Judges in for OC3.
But it's going to be Mayhem Freedom advances first to the second half of the box jump. OC3 Black not far behind. Don't stop at Central Beasts.
So we have 1 minute to the cap. OC3 Black is closing in on Mayhem Freedom, with 1 rep behind. Third place is not going to be able to catch them with 15 reps back. So this will be a close finish. Respect for Ceremonies team here, seeing that there's 30 seconds left. Really pick it up and push. That lead keeps going between 1 and 2 reps. With 25 seconds to the cap.
20 minutes and in the air. For Mayhem Freedom, setting for OC3 Black.
Oh, sorry. My bad, guys. Looks like there's actually 25-minute cap. Yeah, sorry, it's a 25-minute cap. They used to have a 20-minute cap.
For Mayhem Freedom, to get those sandbags, aka cheeseburgers, up and over their shoulder. OC3 is going to put the pedal to the metal. Mayhem Freedom's got about a 6-rep lead. Another close finish area between these two teams. Invictus X.
So obviously Mayhem Freedom now for 25-minute cap. We will keep under that cap. And just finish up here on their 30 cheese curd cleans. The weight being 100 pounds for the men and 70 pounds for the women. The women are going to carry theirs forward.
Come on, Madison, Wisconsin, get behind these two teams. This is going to be a very close finish.
If you just some of the big cuts that happened. They have been announced on the screen yet, but obviously with the CrossFit leaderboard. We have Patrick Delder, we have Ceremonies on the OC race as well. Lucas Goldberg, so that's 2 of the top 3 last year on the podium, are gone. Brooke Wells is gone. Sam Briggs is gone. So definitely these cuts have put a different element and feel into the games this year.
As we approach 22 minutes.
Josh, just want to point out, lane number 5, the ladies of Mayhem done, waiting on Trey Strom and Rachel Froning to finish up their cleans. Hand in the air from their judge, and there they go.
And there you have it. CrossFit Mayhem Freedom will extend their lead by quite a bit over CrossFit Krypton, even if they stay in second place, because CrossFit Krypton currently is near the back of the pack. OC3 Black looks like they'll complete their sandbags cleans over everybody else, and then they come across the line. Don't Stop looks like they get 3rd place. Still 2 minutes, 30 seconds until the cap.
The battle now for 3rd place.
That's Pro 1. Pro 1, if you remember, they took a hot lead. They were all the way up until the deadlifts. They were in 1st place in the deadlifts. They really started to falter. They got some no reps. They had to take some more breaks. They're back to a little bit now. There's the Central Beast.
Both the men and the women of the Central Beast.
And there's your 2nd place team coming into this event, CrossFit Krypton. But it looks like they will be out of 2nd place once the scoring gets adjusted.
Travis and Roy moving up for Don't Stop. Less than 2 minutes, teams. Less than 2 minutes.
Central Beast trying to get it done. Looks like they'll be the next team. These are all finished. Time for the fellas to put in that last and final work. And they do. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Central Beast. Athletes, you have 90 seconds.
You set a time slip away as we approach 1 minute. Just a couple of reps to go. Travis Williams, Roy Gamboa looking to finish up for their team. And there they go. The whole team crossing the line under the 24-minute mark. 1 minute, teams, 1 minute.
We got Mayhem Freedom, our winner at 21:55. We're still waiting for Pro 1. Looks like they'll come in 5th, and Alto probably in 6th there.
Teams, we are at 30 seconds.
Come on, there's the cheer on these teams as they look to finish 83.
Josh Pro 1. The end in sight with less than 20 seconds to go.
And now crossing the line, these athletes will finish
Row one finishing up under that cap. We'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. And that's time. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for On Your Skis. Event number 7, Big Chipper. That's all the Mayhem Freedom.
Official placings up of Mayhem Freedom. Guess who won this? Followed by OC3 Black. Second Beast looks like they come in third. Don't Stop in fourth. We have CrossFit Althoff in fifth. Pro 1 in sixth. Invictus X 7. Invictus 8. And CrossFit Krypton. He was sitting second overall. It definitely will change. They got time capped and they came in ninth in this event. So based on the new scoring system, a ninth place finish in this event gives you 4 points, whereas Mayhem, who they were chasing down, will get 100 points. That's a 96-point addition that Mayhem put on the lead over CrossFit Krypton. So we have an interview coming up here now.
If there's anything we've seen from you guys across the board is that you have such a calm, consistent pace throughout everything that you do. And how are you able to maintain that on a long event like this through all of those different pieces of equipment?
We've done many combinations of all these different movements. And so we kind of knew where we needed to push. It's 50 reps on the deadlift was going to be hard. We knew that. So we just tried to stay in our game and push it at the end. That was the game plan. And we pushed as hard as we could. I don't know how much push there was.
Well, considering the fact that we are facing eliminations and there's sort of constant pressure out here on the field, you guys are all seasoned veterans at this point, but does it change the way that you approach the competition?
Absolutely not. We want to win every event.
Seems to be working so far. Congratulations, guys.
We have a couple left, but
yeah.
Thank you.
To win every event, and CrossFit Mayhem has been pretty much doing that. There's your result. Mayhem Freedom had about, 24-second lead over OC3 Black. And if you want to see why Mayhem Freedom is in first place, event number 1, first place. Event number 2, first place. Event number 3, second place. Event number 4, fifth. Event number 5, we had first. Event number 6, fourth. And event number 7, first. So, not a bad way just to keep yourself in first place. So our standings after 7 events will pop up here in a second. So interesting to see what happened with CrossFit Krypton, how far they fell. Right, so we have about another hour, it looks like, until women's event number 7. So another hour for women's event number 7, so check back then.